This week, we're talking about how much cash you should have saved, and the answer surprisingly isn't as much as possible. This is something I come across a lot, particularly when I meet new clients, and most people either have nowhere near enough saved in cash or they've got way too much. It's a difficult balance and it completely depends person by person. It depends on your circumstances, your stage of life, your personal preferences, and loads of other factors. But it's one of the first things I look at when I'm giving financial advice to someone. So this is week 4 of big decisions. How much cash should I have saved? Before we go any further, please take a moment to read these risk warnings. I'll put them below as well, so please scroll down or pause to read through them. Right, let's crack on with the video. Firstly, you want to have enough in cash so that you can comfortably afford any anticipated costs over the next few years. For example, if you're planning to do some work on the house. You also want to make sure that you have an emergency fund to fall back on if there are any unanticipated costs. Now, as with all personal finance stuff, there's no magic number that you should have saved as an emergency fund, but a good guide for most working people is 3 to 6 months worth of your regular spending. If you're holding much more than you need, there are a couple of issues with this over the long term. Firstly, it might not be very tax efficient if you're someone who pays income tax on savings and these savings are held outside of something like an ISA. And this is something that applies to more and more people these days. The second main issue of having too much in cash is that the value of it may reduce significantly over time if you do nothing with it. This is because cash rates have historically lagged behind inflation, and over the last 30 years, if you take averages up to the start of 2024, inflation or RPI averaged 3.3%, which is what we use as the assumption for our cash flow model. And UK 1 month Treasury bills, which is an equivalent to a good cash savings rate, averaged 3%. So, based on those figures, cash is actually losing 0.3% in value each year. Now, over the short term, this isn't the end of the world. It doesn't sound like that much. But over the course of 10, 20, 30 years, this can be pretty destructive. This graph shows the value of £1,000 in cash over time in real terms. So factoring in that 3.3% inflation rate and the 3% cash rate. So you can see each year it just depletes and depletes and depletes. 65 at retirement age, we're down to 919 in real terms. And that is quite a destruction in value. And this is using quite a good cash savings rate. And if you're hardly getting any return on your cash, this is what it looks like. So this is based on 0.5% return on cash. And you can see it's even more destructive. Going down to, at age 65, we're at 451. So over half the value just destroyed from the effects of inflation. Right, now we're going to look at our example couple, Alex and Eliza, and have a look at the case study we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. So their cash position, they've got 40,000 in low interest cash. They've got an emergency fund of 16,500, which is about equivalent to 3 months worth of their regular spending. And they've also got £5,000 at that 3% rate. And this is their current cash flow model. So this is what we've been building and updating over the last few weeks. It forecasts their assets over time, not including their property, from their current ages of 37 through retirement, which is now 65, all the way till age 100. And this factors in inflation, it puts everything into today's terms, and gives us a forecasted savings at retirement of just over 887,000. And for Alex and Eliza, they have surplus income most years. And this is shown on this graph because the coloured bars, which are their income sources, are higher than the black line, which is their total spending. And they've got the extra cash to make up in the years where this isn't the case. Therefore, if we look at their assets, with the emergency fund they've got and the extra savings to cover the costs over the next few years, they could probably look at doing something more with this 40,000 in cash. Right, I've now updated their cash flow model to show the long-term effects of investing that extra £40,000 rather than leaving it in the low interest cash account. And here we're using the same investment return assumption as before, which is 5% after charges, which is relatively conservative if we look at previous data for a medium risk portfolio. So you can see this growing over time, and this is one of the reasons why people invest, to generate a real return above the rate of inflation over the long term. Right, it's important to say here that investment portfolios do not go in a straight line. They fluctuate daily in value and nothing is guaranteed. And you can't rely on what's happened in the past to tell you what is going to happen in the future. So it's really important that your money is invested sensibly and efficiently if you're planning on relying on it later down the line. So looking at our forecast here, as long as the investment return beats the cash return, Alex and Eliza will be better off. But I need to be clear that the return isn't certain. And that's why I'm quite cautious with my return assumptions here. Using that 5% investment return assumption, the forecast figure is now just over 932,000 at retirement, which compares to the 887,000 for the forecast previously, leaving the money in the low interest cash account. Now, as I've highlighted, it could be more, it could be less than this. This is just a forecast, but it shows the potential difference a strategy change like this could make. So what does that mean for Alex and Eliza? Well, the first thing to say is that it gives them more options, more freedom to do what they want in the future. It might be that they want to bring their retirement age another year forward, and let's see if we can do that. So I've just moved it from 65 to 64. And this is what the model now looks like. So we're not running out of money at age 100, and we're able to move that target retirement age forward to 64. Thank you very much for watching this week's Big Decisions video. If you've got any questions at all, please get in touch with me. If you'd like to talk through your situation, I offer free 30-minute initial calls. So as long as you're based in the UK, feel free to book one of those using the link below.